Everything okay?
Yep, you can go whenever you want.
Alright. Here's the palette. Blue with three warm colors. But it'll be blue with a split complement of yellow, orange, and red, orange. Across here, you'll need plenty of white too. You can choose your own split complement, but I like to have two warms and a cool. I think this works pretty well. I'm also going to start out by covering the canvas here with red-orange, just to give me something warm to push against here. I don't like that cold white underneath. You can do that too, or you can not. Put any color down as your underpainting color that you like. And you see, all you have to do is do a half sheet. I'm going to do a half sheet in the center of this just because I don't want to try and tack up a half sheet up here. Oops. Try not to throw around the paint too much here. This is a nice brush that Barry gave me in the bookstore to try out here. It's nicer than any brush I had before, so very nice for these larger areas. You don't have to worry about being too thorough about this, of course, because it's all going to be covered up. But it does help us get a start. I'll switch to a smaller brush now and switch to my cool color, which is blue. And let's see, maybe just a simple base form here today. And when I draw this with the blue, you can see it goes right into the red. The red is wet yet, so the blue is already mixing with that. Remember, you're going to do a round object that's open in some way. Any opening that's circular will look elliptical in perspective, so try and draw a nice ellipse, and the bottom, of course, will be rounded too in a similar way. And then right away, you can start coming in with your blue. And you can see it's not looking very blue anymore. It looks kind of muddy, a little funny, but this will all play out as we move across this space here. So we're going to go from blue to that red-orange. As we add that red-orange again, we're going to put some white in there. So we'll be working from cool to warm, but also working with darks and lights. Colors, of course, contrast in three ways. What are they again? What are the three ways color contrast?
Intensity and
Hue,
intensity, right?
And value.
Value.
Yeah. Hue, value, and intensity. So we're going to be using all three of these at once here. A lot to think about. You can see it's already starting to round out a little bit there. We're going to reverse that shadow in the opening there, because what we're doing is just thinking about contrast and thinking cool to warm contrast. We're also opening things up with value. And if the light's from this side here, right, we're going to have that color coming across, that light coming across here and creating the shadows on this side on the outside, but on the opposite side on the inside. See how that opens that up? And let's not forget about having a little bit of light in there too. Now we need a horizon line to convince us that there's a table there, but we don't want to think in terms of lines. We just want to think about where things stop and start. And so this will be the edge of the world here, on the edge of the table, whichever you think. And we're going to have cool on one side, warm on the other. Doesn't matter which way you go. And then we're going to have low contrast underneath so that it sits down. So cool to cool underneath there, warm to warm as well as we'll get to. I'm going to come back and emphasize this blue a little bit more now, because I got a little bit lost in the wetness of that red page there. And my example here will be a little bit sketchy, but yours will be a little bit more finished looking. Now remember, This is the only place where we have low contrast, where something is sitting down. High contrast will be all the way around, and on the horizon, and in the opening here. So, where else? We're going to put the blue next to the worm here on the outside. And we're going to have that back here too. Notice I started with a big fat outline, but that's going to disappear because that line becomes part of the background or part of the base. Either one. And you want to keep those colors mixing, and you want to keep plenty of white in there too, so that we get a value contrast as well as contrasted hue. I'm going to come down in front of it a little bit here. This is the blue side, so we want red next to it here, or red-orange. And so, come in with that. You can reshape your vase a little bit that way too. You can do a vase, or you can do a pitcher, or a cup, or a bowl, or whatever you want to do. Starting to work? On this side too, we want that blue right up against the vase. On this side, we want to keep the oranges over here, so we're a little low on yellow, orange. In the end, you're going to have all three colors in every area, on the vase, in the vase, behind, on the tabletop. I've got these kind of strange green showing up in there. That's all right. Wherever if the vase is touching on the warm side, you want warm underneath. Where it's touching on the cool side, you want cool underneath. You don't want too heavy-handed of a shadow there. Let me work out a little bit more on the inside there. This would be the red-orange. Kind of match the outside a little bit better. This making sense to you guys? Come back with a little better ellipse here now. Reshape that a little bit. Reshape this a little. Now this is where it can get a little tricky, just like in the black and white versions you did. We don't want red next to red here, but we do want red next to the blue. This red-orange rather, which is getting a little bit red here. Let me get a little more orange in there. So we can kind of stay away from that edge there and work on this edge too. So don't think in terms of this chunk has to be all blue because we need blue next to there. It can be blue there, it can be orange here. And a little white will help everything get along. Help things blend a little bit. Now how much you blend is up to you. We don't need everything gray, but if you leave things too raw, that's not good either. So, that red-orange next to blue. Questions? Is it working? Stand back a little bit here. You can see almost where that blue is still kind of hanging out there. You see how that blue line goes away here. And at this point too, you could even still alter it. This is why I discourage people from like drawing it out first. What if I wanted to make this into a picture yet? Okay. Maybe I can give it a little bit of a spout here. Okay. Maybe a little more blue. And I can put a handle on it. You guys might want a handle on yours. You might want a spout, or you know, I did a teapot with the morning class. So we can still stretch this out a little bit here. Shape that to be a picture. I can also still add a handle over here. manipulable this way. The handle is a little bit tricky because you want to keep your cool underneath and to the left here. The light's coming from this way, in which case the handle might be completely in shadow. But if it's completely in shadow, we don't have many options for rounding. So, kind of be aware of that. See if I can get a little bit of light on that handle. Before you're done, there might even be some luster washing out the color entirely. We won't make that handle too bright, but get a pure yellow there now. Okay. Now, this is still kind of part of the background. We want to make sure that we get some blue in